Let me. Okay, so this is the first time I'm also doing a recorded meeting, so this is great. But anyway, welcome to COSA 601. Technically, this would have been week 6, but it's technically week 7. But as you know, we had class canceled last week due to non-virus related issues. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be putting a couple people on mute here just in case, so that I can just go ahead with this lecture. You'll still be able to hear me, but I will not be able to hear you. If you need to ask a question, you can press the mute, you can unmute yourself, and then you can ask the question, and then I'll be able to answer for you. But if you're talking right now and you see that red microphone with the crossed out, that means that no matter what you say, we can't hear it. So if you have a question, you have to unmute yourself. Anyway, COSA 601, week 6, / week 7. I will explain what we are learning in class today. Hopefully you can see this. I will try to zoom in a little bit more. I think that'll do. Let's see if I can do that's better. Okay, so here's what we're learning in class today, okay? So for a couple of you, this is probably the first time that you've ever used Zoom. And so Zoom is a form of video conferencing. And it allows people to come together online to share video and audio. You'll notice that there's a lot of places that do use a video conferencing software. It's not gonna necessarily be Zoom, but you'll notice that if you're watching the news right now, is that there are a lot of reports and a lot of interviews being done in the same way we're having class with the video conferencing. So it's great for people who are far away from each other. Also in situations where we're not even supposed to be in the same room as each other. So this actually works extremely well. LBCC is using this as one of their main methods of delivering information and running class. This is probably the easiest way for me to deliver class because there's other ways to do it, but it requires a little bit more training, and on how to navigate that kind of learning. But video conferencing is one of many tools that we have so that we can continue teaching students while we can't be on campus together. So if you've used a program like Skype or WhatsApp, or FaceTime or Google Hangouts, Facebook Messenger, any of those things, you've used video conferencing before, you've used video meeting, it's a lot more common now, especially like for me, I have family overseas, so if I want to talk to anyone in another country, I can just dial them up and boom, I can have my phone with me and talk on video or on the laptop, depending on where I am in the house or what I'm doing. So this is how we're learning today. You get a bonus. I did not expect that we were going to teach this class with a video conferencing, but here we are. So what do you think so far? Just out of curiosity, what do you think about the remote, video conferencing so far? It's different, right?
Yeah.
Very, very different, but.
Hi, teacher. My question is, example, I want to download Zoom to my PC. So what should I do? I don't know how to download.
Hey, Renee, do you know if Zoom is free to the public right now, right? If I recall.
It is. So once you log into the class, if you send them the link, when they click on the link, it automatically takes you to the Zoom download site. And it will tell you, do you want to run this app? And just say yes. And once you run it, it'll launch the screen and it'll tell you, do you want to join this meeting with a video or without a video? So it's fairly simple. All you have to do, again, once she sends out the link, click on the link and you're good to go.
Okay. Yeah, and also I think once you install Zoom, you can start your own room.
Yes.
So like right now you've already installed Zoom. Like it's already on your computer. So what you can do is you can start the room, and then once you start because it's called a room, like this whole thing is called a room, you can start the room and then you can share the link.
So do we have to create a password too or no?
No, the password is not, it's not a password, it's an ID. So for example, the link that you click to come here is, so if you look on the top of your phone, it'll show the 7-digit number. It looks like a phone number. And that's the code to get into My Classroom. But like, for example,
but still, for like, if I want to do to my relative overseas, do I have to need the password or like that?
You give them the code,
ID
that
number
ID.
too?
Yeah, so your room has an ID, and then you give them the ID number, and then that's how they get in.
How do I do that?
Renee, you had a question.
It's generated automatically. If you notice, if you can see my screen right here on top, where I'm waving my hand, on the left hand side of the corner, there's like a 15624 digit. That number is assigned automatically to you. So that's your ID number.
So yeah, and there's that. So yeah, there's ways to do it. Also, you know, Zoom is not the only program that you can use to do this. You can also do Skype if you already do Skype. If you have FaceTime, you already have that. You know, there are many ways that you can. Yeah. So I'll, it's okay, Channy, I got you. I'm gonna meet you. I'll answer your phone.
Okay.
And so does that make sense now? You can use other programs too. So, okay. So this is what we're going to be doing here. And, you know, we'll be talking a little bit about memes and other things that you see online, you know, and we're going to be talking about social media. So out of curiosity, like how many, you know, raise your hand if you've used social media. If you've used Facebook or Twitter or any of the, you know, Snapchat or Instagram or anything like that. You know, if you've used it before, you probably will see a lot of things that you've seen before here. And we're going to be talking about, you know, since we're, so we're going to be talking about how, because we're going to be looking at a lot more stuff on the computer, you know, things that we need to be aware of, you know, when we get information on how to determine if what they're talking about is something that we should. So there's things that are important here, you know, that we're going to be discussing. So we're going to be talking about like what social media is, the types of social media, you know, things that we see online, and, you know, how do we determine if, like I said, what we're seeing is supposed to be believed. And also just common sense when you're putting anything online, because, you know, there's a lot of things that we could be, you know, seeing online that maybe put out there to not give you the right information or to mislead you. And there's just a little bit that you just need to do to make sure that you, you know, are informed properly and, you know, you're not being misled anywhere. So the definition of social media these are websites an application, so like an app on your phone, that enable users to share content or to communicate with each other or to create something. Anything that is shared is social. So because social is to communicate with other people. So who uses social media? Pretty much anyone with a smartphone. You know, anyone who is, and also if you have a question, just put your hand up, I'll unmute you, okay? So, you know, the share content, anything like that. So for example, Facebook, that's social media. In some ways, you know, Zoom is a form of social media, you know, because we are talking to other people, we are sharing ideas, we are doing these kind of things. So a lot of people, if you own a smartphone, if you own a computer, there's probably a chance that you've used it at least once this week. It's just such a normal part of our society now. You know, as long as you have an internet connection, you can see social media. So, you know, there's a lot of discussion about whether or not social media is a good or a bad thing. And in many ways, there's really no way to say that anything is good or anything is bad, because, you know, that's a judgment call, that's an opinion. However, you know, it is a tool, and like any tool, if it is used responsibly, it can be a positive thing. And if it is used irresponsibly, it can hurt. So yes, can it be a good thing? Well, I would say that it can be if it's used with responsibility. So as you can see on the screen here, that there are quite a few of the social media logos that you've probably seen here. Instagram here, Snapchat. Yes, dating sites, if you do dating sites, are also social media because you're communicating with other people. There's WhatsApp, Bumble, Facebook Messenger. So anything like that, that is social media. Okay. So here's a list of some of the social media sites that you might be seeing. Okay. Many of you or some of you have probably have accounts in these social media places. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Snapchat. I have to admit, I decided to try TikTok last night. I didn't realize how funny some of those videos were. I'm not going to become a TikTok. I don't know if I'll ever become a TikTok, you know, like not a viewer, but like a producer of TikTok videos. But I'll tell you, some of the stuff I'm watching, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, how is that even like allowed? But it's funny. And then there are some that have been around much longer. You know, Tumblr's been around for a while. SoundCloud, especially if you're a musician, right? You know, yeah. So Renee, do you put stuff on SoundCloud?
Not anymore because of the copyright infringement thing. So I use Mixcloud, which is pretty much the same thing, but Mixcloud is more lenient when it comes to copyright.
Okay, yes. And copyright is a big thing, especially YouTube has these things where if you put even like a snippet of a song, you know, Universal Music is on your butt and you're like, really? I just want to use like 10 seconds. What's wrong with you? Yeah. Yeah, at least TikTok gets around it by whenever it's playing a music video, it will put the name of the song at the bottom so that it gives proper credit to the person who's using it. So I think they probably get royalties or something. I don't even know for the little snippet. However that works. YouTube is social media because, you know, you create videos, you upload, you watch videos. Some of you have already watched the YouTube. So there's that. Pinterest, which is pretty cool, especially if you're going to be around for a while in front of your computer. Pinterest is a great way to look up ideas for a lot of things. You know, it's a place where people can take links that they're of things that they're finding and putting them all together for people to share. Reddit is like a news link. The entire world shares a lot of things, and there's a lot of special sections that are dedicated to special topics. That's a fun one to use. And then there's some that are used more for people who play video games like Discord and Twitch. Those are used to communicate with each other, to communicate video and also chat, especially if you're playing video games, is what they're primarily used for. Yelp, if you, you know, once we're okay to eat inside of restaurants again, if you want to choose the restaurant that you want to, you know, get reviews on, they have reviews. People will contribute their opinions about places, and it's not just restaurants. It's also things like your auto mechanic or, you know, the nail salon or the hairstylist or something like that. That's where people will leave reviews for, you know, and they say, oh yeah, you know, this hairstylist is really good, so I give it 5 stars and you should go. And it helps, and it can hurt business too, because if somebody gives you a really bad review, you know, everyone will see it and they can't delete it. And in some ways, social media and also like Yelp reviews have been used as a tool for social justice, I've noticed, especially for places that have been unfair to certain customers. The reviews don't have anything to do with the food and everything to do with what they shouldn't be doing. I thought that was pretty funny. Oh, and of course, Tinder and dating, that is also a big thing when it comes to social media, you know, meeting people for relationships or to meet just as social. Like I said, it's the whole thing about being social. So what I'll do is I'm going to open it up real quick, and I'm actually curious about your experience with social media, because I know that many people have it and what you've used. So I'm going to unmute real quick and see like, what have you used in this list? Well, when you see this list, or is there something I didn't list here that you do use, that you use to communicate with other people?
I use on Facebook, and yeah, I think only Facebook, YouTube,
Only Facebook?
YouTube, and that's it.
Okay. In the face, what do you use Facebook for?
It's use Facebook, and sometimes I call and chat with my friend by Messenger.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a very common use of it. Twitter is another common one that they use. It's like, I like to call it Facebook, but only the status updates. That's it. They don't add anything really much else to that. But and those are ways that news gets around. The only difference is, though, between that and getting news from like a more reputable source, is that sometimes the news, so you have to use your best judgment when you're reading it, because it's not always going to be accurate. So we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
So what are the things that we see during social media? And yes, I was thinking about the Lego movie the other day, so I had to put that on my screen. But what are the things that you see in social media? Well, you see news, you see, video, audio, like YouTube or SoundCloud, memes. You'll see a lot of funny ones. This is one of my favorites so far, because it explains everything that's happening in the world. And it's a meme is like a funny picture that you see online, and they're making fun of something, and people pass it around. They call it a meme. And because of the virus, everyone's posting. There was another one about how why is everyone acting like kindergartners, because this is the reason why we can't go out to recess, because there's 1 or 2 that are still bad, so they're not going to let us out to play. So you need to stop. You need to keep quarantining until we're all done. The other thing too that you're going to see is, when your friends post something, or when you see, like, when you're what's it called, like when your friend says something and then everyone can see it. There's a lot of opinions. A lot of people are saying stuff, not always going to be agreeable, and it's not always factual, but it's your friend saying stuff, and that ends up on there too. Also, for example, you see a good link, like a website that people need to go to. For example, one of the things that I've been talking about, because as part of this whole quarantine problem, I mentioned I also am a substitute teacher for kindergarten to 12th grade. Well, last Friday, the school districts closed down. And so one of the things that I was sharing with other teachers is that if you're not working, you can file for unemployment and for food stamps immediately. Okay. So for example, once I found out that they were going to close my school down, I went online and I filed for my unemployment, because not all teachers can work still, or not all teachers are paid right now during the quarantine, or well, like, it's not technically quarantine, but it's like the COVID-19 closure. Okay. So, like, because I'm a substitute teacher at the district, if I'm not teaching, I don't get paid. So, and there's a lot of teachers like that. So there's a lot of people filing for unemployment today. So that's a big thing. So, and also because friends like to share information with each other. For example, I have friends who, when they go to a restaurant, there's this joke where, you eat at the restaurant and you take the pictures of the food, and you take really, really good pictures of the food. And then you tell your friends, hey, this restaurant's really good, you should go. And then, of course, because of the time that we're living in right now, I have to ask if they do takeout. So that's where we are. So, but one thing that I put at the bottom is that information can be shared, but sometimes the information can be complete, it can be incomplete, or sometimes it can be misleading. And that's something that, you want to be aware of, because you'll be reading and watching a lot of video. And sometimes they do things like, sometimes the video you're kind of questioning, wait, this doesn't look right. Is this real? Is this fake? Or is this correct? So these are things that we need to be aware of, because it's okay to have fun and enjoy funny memes that are making fun of the current state of the world. But at the same time, though, when someone's trying to give you information about, you should gargle a lot of salt water because that will help with the virus, which isn't true. I mean, I'm Filipino, so like the answer to everything is Vicks, and we know it. right? Just like the Mexicans, right? Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, Filipinos are basically, you know, Hispanic Islanders. That's what we call ourselves. I mean, I am, my last name is Malazarte. I mean, come on. I'm pretty much Hispanic at this point. You know, I'm his, you know, and besides, we all eat rice in the end. You know that, right? We all eat rice, so it's fine. So yes, VIX is the answer to everything. So one of the things that I added to this is that how do I determine if something on the internet is, well, something I should be looking at, is reliable? What's reliable? And so there's a guide, and what I'll do is at the end of class, I'm going to email everyone a PDF. It's an electronic version of the worksheet I would have given you today. That is a good checklist to say, hey, if I'm online on something, how do I know that this is correct? Remember at the first part of class, I mentioned that every, you know, when we were learning how to search on Google, that we were, you know, looking at all the links and trying to decide, okay, is this is the right thing that we need to be looking at? So there are eight good ways that you can check if something on the internet is something that you should be trusting. And so if you look here on the right over here, there are 4 different kinds of address endings. Okay, so it's like so for example, if you see something like Amazon.com, okay, you know, the primary role of Amazon is to sell you something. So it's a commercial, it's, you know, it's a company. So .com is normal. But if you go to some place like YMCA, YMCA.org, it's an organization. Okay, so our YMCA is ymca.org, or lbcc.edu. Edu means it comes from the school, which probably means it's going to be from an educational institution, which probably means it's going to be more accurate information. And then anything that has to do with the government, for example, the CDC, the Center of Disease Control, which is where they give you the most accurate information about the current, you know, COVID-19. You go to cdc.gov because it's a government agency. Okay, so whenever you're reading any information, if you're getting information from the city or the county, it's probably going to say gov.gov on it. But if you're going to be getting information about the virus from something called .com, they're probably going to try to sell you something. So it's probably something to keep in track of. So whenever you're looking for these kinds of, when you're looking at information, make sure that when you're reading it, that they're not trying to just sell you something. You know, sometimes places that try to sell you something will occasionally give you a lot of information at the beginning, and then they'll twist it in such a way to make you want to buy something. So for example, let's just say like we have this company that wants to sell you these masks, okay? And they claim that they're the N95 masks that everybody keeps, you know, trying to, you know, fight each other over. And they'll say, yeah, you know, N95 masks are extremely important and they are proven to be the best kind of mask that you use to protect from, you know, airborne whatever, which is true. That's a true statement. However, then they're going to go into, okay, well, this is the reason why our masks are the best masks that you should be buying. That means, yeah, they're probably trying to sell you something. So you want to be aware of that. Be aware of bias, okay? Bias is the term bias means that they have a reason. They're trying to lean toward one way or another. The most common example of this is politics, which we're not going to go into because, you know, this is a politics-free zone. But when you have an opinion about something, you know, you will be, you know, a little bit more leaning toward the thing that you believe in. For example, if you had a debate between which pet is better between dogs and cats, if you're a dog lover, you're probably going to talk more about how dogs are awesome and how cats are not. Same thing if you have a cat. So that's also important. The other thing too is, other things that you can also check for is checking when the article was actually put on the internet or whenever the post was put on the internet. It might be old information. And you also want to think about who put the information up. Was it a news site like Reuters, or is it Reuters? Or was it like ABC? Or was it some random guy who lives in Georgia? Like, I mean, who put up the information? Because sometimes people will post anything that looks right to them without checking for the facts. And that's probably the worst thing that you can do, especially in a time like this. So always make sure that whatever you're looking at, you know, you take a couple seconds, Google search it real quick, make sure it's correct before you share it. Because, it, you know, I'll tell you, there are some people that I know that have put up stuff and I'm going, that's not true, and you know it, and that's pretty embarrassing. You don't want to do that. So when it comes to these kind of things, you know, you kind of have to think about social media. And for the people who are posting anything online, because you know you will, you post a picture of your friend, you know, you post a picture of your friend, you take pictures at your parties, or you share a site, or you do something, right? You know, usually you're, you know, especially when you take a picture of a bunch of people at the same time, it's probably going to be a little difficult to ask them if it's okay. But, you know, if you take a really embarrassing picture, let's say of your cousin, okay, example, right? And you look at this picture and your cousin looks like, I don't know, they woke up on the wrong side of the bed or something. And you want to put this online, you know, is it a good idea? Like, would you want to do that? Would you want to embarrass your cousin like that? Or, you know, I mean, you know, in family circles, they call that blackmail. No, just kidding. You know, you want to ask yourself this before you put anything online. And that's why I like this THINK. This is a very popular acronym for thinking about, you know, common sense when you're putting up things, because I have seen some really awful pictures. I'm going, really, guys? Like, how is this even okay to put up? You want to ask yourself, you know, is this true stuff? Is it helpful? H is for helpful, I is for inspiring. Is this something that you're using to be positive, or are you doing this to put someone down? Are you trying to be nice, or are you being a jerk? And also, is it kind? Are you doing someone a favor by doing this? For example, you know, you've seen some videos where somebody is randomly videotaping someone else doing a good deed, and they put it online, and then it goes viral. And viral means it goes like everyone's sharing it, you know, and there was a time where that was a good, there's a time when that's a good thing. And then there was another time where that happened, it ended up being a scam. Like, you don't know where that's going. So you kind of have to be careful about those things. Also, privacy settings, okay? If for the Facebook users in our audience, when you post something, you can choose who looks at your posts. If you see the globe, means everyone in the world, even if they have a Facebook account or not, can see what you just said. So make sure that you have your privacy set to a place where it's comfortable for you, okay? For example, if you are talking about some personal stuff and you put it in public and then someone picks it up and has fun with it, yeah, that will happen. Also, common sense, please use your gut, okay? If it doesn't feel right to post, please don't do it. Save yourself the embarrassment. A lot of posts get put up every second, and not all posts are going to end up being used by somebody else. But, you know, you want to decrease your chances of embarrassment. And if it doesn't feel right, you probably don't do it. I just say that as a disclaimer because, you know, we're going to be on social media a lot in the next few weeks. You know, you could be doing video, you could be doing anything, you know, if it feels right, like I said, you want to share a picture, you know, this is day 35 with my pet hamster kind of stuff, then that's okay. But, you know, common sense. And, you know, it's definitely important here. So that's pretty much what I have for the social media. I know that this class is supposed to run for about, we have like a 2.5 hour block here. But I think that in regards to teaching a class like this, you know, a lot of it has a lot of lab time, and that's where it's kind of difficult to do when we're all remote and in some cases, you know, not in front of a computer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the floor here to questions that you have about maybe the Skyping you're using, or not Skype, but any of the social media that you're using. If there's maybe something like I can show you on the computer on how to what to use, because I can show it on my screen and you can see it. But that is pretty much my big thing on what you need to think about for social media. Also, the article that I'm going to be sending you by email looks like this. And basically it's just like the lecture that I just talked about, is 8 ways to determine if a website is reliable. I'll be sending you a PDF in email about this. And then this will just be something to help when you're reading a lot of news and a lot of information that's coming from all over the place. So if you have a question, I'm going to unmute you. And you can go ahead and tell me if there's something else, even if it's not related to social media. I can show you how to do something on the screen here so that you can see it on yours. So does anybody have any questions about social media or something I can show you how to do? Office 365, Google searching, things like that.
No, I don't have any question. Yeah.
Okay. I'm actually wondering, Renee, this is my thought on this, is that, it's only like 9:42. I was actually thinking of possibly, because I'm not really sure how much longer we're going to have classes, maybe I can jump into my next, the next thing I was actually going to do a lecture on, which, if I recall, I don't even know if I ended up in a standstill, so I never even made the the slides for it. But I can definitely teach it if.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, yeah, and I'm open to it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So let me take a look here. This is my Google Drive that you get to see here, and let's take a look at what we were actually going to cover in the next week. Because I have extra time, and if class doesn't end up continuing, at least you got something out of this, and I hope that it helped. So one of the things that we were going to do in week 7 was online shopping and online housekeeping. How to shop safely, how to make electronic payments, and how to do online banking and bill pay. And that was actually what I was going to do would have been this week if we were going to do it. And so I can do a little bit about this and we can discuss it, and then we'll just go from there. So I'll just open up the floor here to this. Do you, for the people in the audience, do you shop online? This question.
Yeah, once in a while.
Once in a while? What websites do you use when you shop online?
No, sometimes it's I look on the Facebook, they post is the clothes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you use Facebook, Facebook Marketplace. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Facebook Marketplace, I like to call that one Let Go is the other one. Offer Up. Those are really good websites and apps to use. Yeah. So if I'm gonna just do this for fun here, let me start a new document. So for example, like, I'm gonna call this online shopping, and I'll share this with everyone.
Yeah.
So for example, sites for shopping. Like one of them is Facebook Marketplace. I've seen some pretty cool stuff on my Facebook Marketplace. And then another one too is Offer Up. Another one is Let Go. And one of the oldest ones that's been around forever is Craigslist. That one's been around forever. And those are great. But see, the big thing about all of these particular types of shopping, it's a little loud in there, okay? But big thing is that with these shopping things is that what you do is you see the item for sale, right? And then you contact the person, contact the seller, and then you meet the seller. Okay, so in this case, it's a little bit of a hybrid. You're using the shopping site to meet somebody else, to go see them in person and then buy whatever you want from them. Okay, but then there are other types of shopping. For example, is if you see the item for sale and then you put, you know, digital shopping cart, you know, and then it's shipped to you. So that's another kind, and those would probably be something like Amazon, or you know, what's another shopping you can do?
eBay.
What's another shopping site? Amazon's the most popular.
eBay.
eBay. It's kind of in the middle, you know. eBay is the same thing. You see item for sale, you know, you put it in the shopping cart and it's shipped to you. I actually just sold something on eBay and I have to ship it out, but I'm never going to meet the person. I'm just shipping it, so it doesn't matter, right? Yeah. eBay. What's another one?
You can do Wish.
Oh gosh, you know, I just bought some crazy. Wish is a rabbit hole. Wish is such a rabbit hole.
It is.
You know, because you think about it, it's like, you don't know, you know, it takes forever for it to come from China. And now with everything going on, how long is it going to take to come from China? But yes, Wish, you know, and even places like, but here's the thing too, is that there are stores, for example, stores that offer either shipping or and I will zoom here. What did I do? 1 second. Oh, okay. There we go. That's better. You know, and stores that either offer either shipping or pickup in store. You know, for example, places like Best Buy. You know, if you see a computer that you like, you'll either pick it up at the store in an hour, or you can have it shipped to your house. Other places like Target, Walmart, which is pretty cool because you have the option. Sometimes some supermarkets will do that too, where you shop and you can pick it up. Whole Foods does that, you know, via Amazon or whatever. And then there's other kinds of shopping. For example, services that offer delivery. Now, this is getting a lot more popular right now because of what's going on, because people can't leave the house. So, for example, things like DoorDash. And, you know, DoorDash, Postmates. What else? What's another one? Amazon Prime Now. What's another one?
Uber Eats.
Was it?
Uber Eats.
Yeah, Uber Eats. I used to actually work for Uber Eats. I did that for a while. Instacart. There's a lot that offer delivery, and it's not just food, it's also services and things like that. I have many stories. When Postmates first started in Los Angeles, I was, so yeah, you didn't get to see this, Renee, but I ride a motorcycle. And it's like my primary mode of transportation. And what happened was, when I got laid off from a job and I was waiting to get hired somewhere else, I rode my motorcycle for Postmates for a while. And I have had to pick up some of the weirdest stuff. I think one of the craziest things, they sent me to Bed Bath & Beyond, and I had to pick up this queen-sized comforter. And I had to take my straps and I strap it to the back of the bike. And I got to the lady's house so fast that she was still in a towel when I answered the door. I said, I have your comforter. She's like, I didn't expect it to come that fast. I'm like, I'm on a motorcycle. Of course I'm gonna be you know, and I delivered food. I had to pick up somebody's medication once. It was crazy. I'm just like, and this was before all of this went down, you know, all of this, this crazy, you know, stay at home kind of stuff. So yeah, services that offer delivery, you have all this. Okay, so like online shopping is a big deal. Now, the only real time that I would find that there would be major problems would probably be up here. You know, this is the one where you use your common sense the most, especially because you're at this part, especially when you get to the part where you're at contact the seller and meet the seller. Big things that you want to be aware of is that anytime that you're trying to do anything online, you know what? Be careful, you know, tips. Yes. Money exchange. If the person is asking for money up front, you probably might not want to do that. The only time that I would find money up front, something that is normal, is if you're trying to buy a vehicle. Okay, because some people will meet up, to buy a car or something like that, and you'll often see on the app, on the ad, it'll say cash in hand, because they want to make sure you're not playing. So, like for example, if you test ride the car and then you accidentally crash it, you give them the money, because that's just common sense for that. Or be sure that you're if you're meeting someone to buy something from them, you want to be sure that you're using common sense when meeting somebody. Go to a public place, where people can see you. One of the safe places I would say would be like the parking lot of a 7-Eleven or something like that, or in an area where there's a lot of people, so that you have witnesses. Depending on what part of town you live in, some police stations actually offer areas where you can do a transaction safely in front of the police station, so you have a bunch, you have protection there. So depending on who, if you're going to do the Facebook Marketplace or the OfferUp, you want to use caution, because you're basically inviting a stranger to meet you somewhere, and we learned as kids that stranger danger and all that stuff, and now it's normal. I kind of laugh when I think about Uber and Lyft. When we're growing up, they're like, oh yeah, you never get into a stranger's car. Never get into a stranger's car. We have gotten worse. Okay, not only do we get into a stranger's car, we pay them money. It's just like, yeah, we've gotten to that point. And so, this is something to be aware of. Yeah. So, stores that offer that kind of stuff, like I said, if you have places that have the app, it's highly likely that you're completely, you're probably completely covered, because it's covered by the store. The store is already set up to do that. Also, if you didn't know this, if you buy anything from Amazon and you need to return it, you don't have to ship it back. You can drop it off at most of the things that you can drop off. You can go to Kohl's, and you can drop off the Amazon stuff you need to return. You can drop it off at Kohl's. So that's another fun little fact too. I found that very convenient, especially because Kohl's takes care of it. You don't have to pay any shipping. They take it back to Amazon and you're done. There's no problem. Not only that, but they also, Kohl's likes to bribe you with a coupon, if you want to go buy clothes at Kohl's, which, make sure that if you're buying jeans, just be 6 feet apart from the other person, okay? I know my social distancing is making me sad. I need to bring Clorox wipes to the gas station now. Like, come on, Jeez. So that is something that's important for that. Anyway, so those are sites for shopping. I'm actually going to, find something in regards to, common sense when shopping for things. But as you know, if it doesn't, it always goes back to, your gut instinct. If you think something's up, if something is telling you in your head, this probably isn't okay, it's telling you for a reason. It's sensing something. Trust yourself. Don't force the issue. If the person is really pushy or the person is really rude, you probably just walk away. There's somebody else who probably has the item that you want, That's really, I often say that those are the same rules for dating as well. But anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this into my, into the folder here, and I will make sure that this goes into our, I'll make a PDF of this, and I'll make a PDF and I'll send this out as well, so that you can have this for your reference as well. So yeah, now not really sure, like I said, when I think about the kinds of lectures that I was giving, because there was a lot of practice activities that I had, and it's kind of difficult to do on our end here. But I'll probably just jump ahead to another part of a lecture that I was trying to set up for week 8, which was about because I did get a question about from week 1, was if I want to buy a computer, what kind of computer should I buy? And not sure if anyone here is interested in is possibly getting a computer in the near future, but there are several kinds of computers that you can consider getting depending on what you're planning to do in school. So let's see if I can find that for you guys. So the question I have right now, and so I'm just going to put this on the screen right now, but anybody so far have anything that they notice about what they're seeing online right now? If you've been on social media, do you notice that there are things that you notice? Like, do you notice there's more news, or do you notice that more people are talking about the current COVID-19 situation? Like, what are some things that you're noticing that people are talking about more online? Anything different? Anything that you're seeing? Anything in particular? Probably not. Okay, but like I said, one of the things that you'll notice in the next few weeks is that you'll notice a lot more news, a lot more people. Other things too that if you are a Netflix watcher, there's a cool Chromebook extension called Netflix Watch Party. I don't know if you've seen that one, Renee, but yeah, my friend got me into that. She goes, she lives on the East Coast, but she's a night owl, so it's okay. But she's like, oh, we have to do Netflix Watch Party. You've never heard of the Netflix Watch Party? Let me see here. Oh, what's going on over here? Seeing it says there's a lot of outdoor noise. That's why I had to mute that, but it looks like a bike parking. Okay, fine. Netflix Watch Party. I think that we're finding ways that we can get together online, and that's a good thing. But I actually wanted to show a little bit of a video about Chromebooks here, just to see if anyone was interested in that. For the last few weeks, so here's something fun for you, Renee. I'll just catch you up on this. But the YMCA site that we were currently in, they're using 13-year-old iMacs.
Oh wow!
It is one of the oldest computer labs that I have that I've been in. I mean, or as I've been joking every week, is that these computers are as old as my career. And because these are the same iMacs that were in my computer lab when I started as a high school teacher at LA Unified.
Jeez.
So I'm just like, okay, this is a little insane. And so everything that we've taught has been using Chrome. And so the beautiful thing about Chrome is that it doesn't matter what kind of computer you're using, as long as you're using Chrome, and if that's all you're using, then you could probably get away with using a Chromebook. If you're doing work with Office 365, it's highly likely that you're probably going to need something with a Windows PC or a Mac. Those are going to be the two that you'd be using. However, Chromebook allows you to get away with a lot, and it's super cheap, and it's great for the kids because it's pretty much what all the kids are using. And so what I can do here is I'll throw in whoops, I think we just dropped somebody. That's okay. She showed up for most of class. It's fine. I gotcha. But I think what I'll do is I will, this was a pretty cool one where they said, can you use a Chromebook as a computer replacement? And this is a good one because a lot of people, they go into the Best Buy and they say, wait, what is this Chromebook thing? Why is it so cheap? And let's find out. I'm actually curious about this. So I'm going to throw a video on for a few, and get your popcorn, and we'll go from there. So let's see. Share screen. Any questions so far about the buying? It's just like, yeah, I'm just enjoying this today. That's great. I appreciate you hanging on here. let us share this and let's see if this works. I hope this video does work.
Spring into big savings with Purple's spring sale.
I don't
Get a free
need-
set of Purple sheets.
All right, we're turning that off. No, we're not watching an ad. Here we go.
I've already lost a MacBook Pro and the fear is still there. So I finally bought this Chromebook and first impression, it's too compact for my liking. But the question has to be asked, can you use a Chromebook as a replacement for personal computer? Well, let's put it to test. Starting tomorrow, I will be replacing my MacBook Air with this Chromebook and see how it goes. Goodbye MacBook and hello Chromebook. Expander app and it works flawlessly. On Chromebook, however, I have to restart the Text Expander app every day and still tap on the green tick. It works, but takes some time. Similarly, on Mac, I can just copy anything on Slack directly, which I have to manually copy it with a long press on Chromebook. Coming back to Mac, when I have to take video files from Kaushik, I can simply use AirDrop. But on Chromebook, we have to go back to SSD or Google Drive for file transfer. So finally, should you buy Chromebook or not? And well, it depends. If you're looking for a complete computer replacement, then no, Chromebook is not for you. This one still cannot do photo editing, video editing, programming, or any kind of computer-intensive work like PC gaming. However, if you're looking for a simple computer that can do web browsing, Android application support, and you can watch Netflix on the go, and most importantly, if you're looking for a portable and cheap computer that you can carry anywhere on the go, then yes, Chromebook makes sense. Although do keep in mind, you still won't be losing out on efficiency. That being said, I'm going to use it as my secondary computer for now. But let me know what you guys think. Are you going to use Chromebook? As always, it's Muna signing off. We'll catch you guys later.
Okay. Well, first I was going to ask is, I'm muting everybody here. But the first thing I was going to ask is, was everybody able to hear the video? Was everybody able to hear the video?
Yeah.
Okay, great. That makes me feel better because I was seeing the other day when I was helping my nieces with their stuff. Hi, student. Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, because the other day the internet connection wasn't very good at the school that my nieces were. The teachers were still at school and they were using the school internet to do their stuff. They might as well have been at home because the internet connection was so bad at school that the video was coming out so choppy. I'm really glad this one came out clean. So, but anyway, one of the things that I was going to talk about is, you know, we're talking about Chromebooks, and I mentioned this is the Chromebook that I use in class, and for basic use, and if you need an extra computer, this is a great thing to have. And like the one that's in the video, this one actually can fold in half and you can use it like a tablet. So that's one of the things that I do like about this particular Chromebook, and it should flip.
Yeah.
Can it flip? No, you're not gonna flip. Of course it won't flip. But you can use it as a tablet, which is really useful. And pretty much anything short of using Office 365, as I've learned, you can pretty much use a Chromebook for this. And so, you know, if I was to give this instructional later in the semester, if we were still able to go back to the Y, I would have had some, you know, show and tell. And since, you know, we technically can't touch each other, you know, it would have been everybody like test driving all of these computers. I would have had access to a few to play with. But, you know, if you're thinking of the future, in terms of being able to do Skyping, actually Skyping's okay on a Chromebook like that. It's gotten faster since they did that particular piece. And obviously the person who was hosting that video is a power user. This is a person who likes to have a cajillion things open at the same time, which is not what Chromebook is fully designed for. So it's a little bit, as I was mentioning earlier, the word biased, okay? This is a person who uses Macs for professional work. And so trying to compare that is like comparing apples and oranges. But if you're a basic user, like, which is pretty much most normal people, you can get away with using a Chromebook for a lot. I mean, even for me as I consider myself a power user, there are days where I don't even touch a regular laptop, like a regular Windows laptop, because of how effective the Chromebook is. I have run Zoom meetings on my Chromebook and it's been fine. Now today I'm using my gaming laptop because my microphone is attached to it. But there have been days where I have done a Zoom meeting off of my Chromebook because that's what was closer to me anyway. So there's that. So when you get to the point that you are shopping for a new machine or you're looking for something for the kids to use that they can use and it's not going to be too expensive, you know, you can get a Chromebook under $300 and you're fine. And that's a new Chromebook. I mean, I'm even talking about that. You could probably get a secondhand Chromebook if you find someone like on Facebook Marketplace trying to sell theirs. You can get that thing super cheap. And the beautiful thing is that everything's included, and you just need to reset the thing and it's yours. You don't have to do anything special to it. So it's really nice. So yeah, there's a lot of cool things that I wish I could have continued to run through. In regards to computers, what I hope for anyone here, and I mean, I'll see what happens with next week. I mean, I'm going to put my feedback to my supervisors about this. And you know, we did have 2 students show up, so I mean, that was very promising. Not really sure how the YMCA is going to continue, but at the same time, you know, if this does choose not to continue, you know, on the syllabus that I gave you at the beginning, you have my email, you have my phone number. If you have any questions about computers, I'm more than happy to continue to give you and share information about that. And I really hope that, you know, you continue to learn and try new things and you know, improve. I also tell you to continue practicing your typing. You know, that's something that we would have been doing in lab, but you know, you obviously you have a computer, and you know, if you continue the typing, that will definitely open up a lot of opportunities for other work. I have a feeling, and this is probably the sentiment that's shared by a lot of people, that a lot of work is going to go remote very quickly. And in order to catch up and to stay, you know, afloat with the remote learning and the remote work, you have to be able to type fast. So being good at that is definitely going to be something that will benefit you as you're, you know, as we move to this, like, this is just a completely new thing for us. We've never been in a situation like this before. You know, I never thought that 2 Fridays ago that everything that I did in education would pretty much be halted the way that it is, you know. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not a full-time instructor at either Long Beach City College or my school district. So I was pretty much closed down. And then to make it even more fun, I also do professional video work. I'm a videographer, and I film high school varsity sports. So guess what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything just went bleh. So that's what happened. And yeah, so I know, but that being said, I mean, you know, I wouldn't want to keep droning on for the next two hours really. And that was probably a sneak peek into, if I were to continue, you know, if this class were to continue next week, this is what I would be covering. Although I might think of something else for next week if I get the green light to continue on. Of course, I don't know if you'll be the instructional assistant for this one if we do continue.
I signed up for this class actually.
Oh.
We were given a series of classes for us to choose the classes. So I usually don't work on Saturdays, but you know, one day he said that they needed someone that speaks Spanish. I was like, all right, I'll take care of it. I'll do it. You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I wish my Spanish students showed up. I have a bunch of them.
I think this is something that the Y has also to send them an email, let them know that the class will continue. I'm not sure if they did their part. I'm not sure if they did. But if they haven't, I mean, it'll be wise to reach out to them and let them know, hey, listen, can you let them know that the class is still going on and that there will be a Spanish assistant, you know, assistance throughout the whole class. I think that will kind of like encourage a little bit more people to show up.
Yeah. It also depends on what people are up to right now, because it's
True.
like.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. Well, have any other questions in regards to this? I think that I'm really glad that the slides went through and the video went through, and it looked a lot better than when I was watching it yesterday on my, like I said, on my niece's computers. I'm going, what is going on? Why is it so choppy?
Yeah.
It was awful. I mean, we haven't used the chat function here, but you could see in the chat function on their thing, because they were using Zoom as well. It was like, we can't hear it. It's choppy. I'm like, oh God.
Wow.
Yeah. So I guess we got lucky with our internet connection today, because.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Yeah.
Because sometimes it can get really bad, especially if the class is happening during the rush hour or when everyone wants
True.
to.
That's true. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I had to subscribe to higher internet service because You've heard of collegebuys.org, right?
College buys.
like-
Oh, collegebuys.org. No, I'm curious.
It's like a third-party vendor that they advertise on school and everything, and you could get Office 360. I mean Office 2019 from them for like $50.
Wow.
The whole suite, and you could get like a Adobe suite. You could get like a lot of the Microsoft applications through them at a highly discounted price. I mean Office it goes by $52 with the tax and everything, right? And they offer an internet service plan, which is $20 a month.
Wow.
And the only problem is that it's a 4G speed. I mean, it's a 4G speed, and when there's a lot of traffic, it could be kind of slow. You could get disconnected. But for what I was using it at home, it was fine. But now that we're jumping fully online, I needed a higher bandwidth.
Huh.
So I went ahead and I subscribed to Spectrum. But also the college, I'm not sure. Let me get my phone real quick. The college is also offering. They launched a website where students can actually get internet service. I'm not sure the quality. I'm not sure the how that works. But let me look at the information real quick. Here it is. So it's called Human-I-T.
Human. Okay.
And it's used. It's pretty much says need Wi-Fi at home, can't afford a computer. Human-I-T, where humanity and technology meet. It's a low-cost internet, affordable computers and no contracts. And it has the LBCC logo on it, so I'm thinking that it's sponsored by us.
Oh, what's it called? You want to share a screen on that one? Because I'm curious now.
Let me see. I don't know if you can see it through here. Can you? Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay.
All right. Hold on. My dog showed up. Hold on.
Hey, dog. Okay, I'm gonna actually put that in here too. So that is low-cost computers.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me bring it up again.
Yeah. This is.
This is really important for all students. Also, just so that they know that there are more available resources out there that they can go in and, if they have issues trying to connect to the internet.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna add that to our online shopping worksheet. We can do that.
Okay. So let me see if you can see it now. If it's better for you.
Yes. Okay. So low-cost technology, like low-cost Wi-Fi and computers.
Mhm.
Okay.
Let me email you this picture.
Yeah, that's sweet. No, I saw that. I'm like,
This one at my home, I already connected. It's 1 month like 20.50 cents, $20.50
Who do
every
you get it
single
from?
month.
Who do you get it from?
It's a Human IT.
Oh, so you do get this service.
oh, good.
Yeah, I
Okay.
do.
Yay.
Awesome. Okay.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when
Awesome.
when we like beginning just first start and they will give away one Chromebook, brand new one. It's a one Chromebook. It's free. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh,
Great.
so you're actually working on a Chromebook right now then, huh?
No. This my PC. It's
Oh, okay.
about the new one. But actually, when we connect with the low-cost internet at Human IT,
Yeah.
we get one Chromebook for free.
Great. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then for monthly payment is $20.50 every
Yes,
single
even-
month.
How's the
Yeah.
speed? How is the connection? I mean, I know I can
It's
see you just
50 and 50 something. I don't know how
Alright.
they say megabyte,
Oh, 50,
but
50
it's not
now.
slow.
That's pretty
It's good.
decent, actually.
That's good.
Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
more
actually
than
pretty
enough
good.
to do this.
Yeah.
And way better than collegebuys.org, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I use the Wi-Fi connect with you. It's just this Human IT internet. Yes.
Nice. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's something that we need to actually publicize and advertise to all of our students. Yeah.
I did connect like almost 1 year already. That is, they said like they connect for the low income student or something.
Mm-hmm.
They need us
Of
to
course.
like have a Medicare card or food stamp something. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. I mean, it's,
Oh, I'm glad. Okay, good. So we have someone who actually uses this. This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, your connection's great. Like I have
It
no
is, yeah.
problem watching you on this today, and it's been perfect. So I like it. That's great. I'm gonna definitely PDF this one, and I'm gonna try. Like I said, I'm gonna let the YMCA know. It's like, hey, you know what? If we're gonna teach something, we're gonna still run because I still have. Technically, I'm supposed to be teaching this for at least 2 or 3 more weeks. So
Yes.
hey, you know what? I'm still here,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'll still be recording attendance, which, but still. Yeah.
Maybe we could try. Maybe we could try a Facebook watch party for the class.
I know I wish, except that, like I don't have, none of them are friends with me on Facebook. That's
Oh.
that'd be kind of weird. I mean, I know everyone is an adult, but it's kind of like, do I really want you on my Facebook?
I know. I think this is a time where we need to rethink the way we teach
Yeah.
and kind of utilize whatever platforms out there just to get them in, just to pull them in.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I think I'm going to probably take this whole recording. I'm probably going to put it on YouTube or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, here's the recap on what we were talking about. And, okay. Because this is actually things that our students can use. And I will make sure that when I think I copied you on the first email about about COSA 601 still in session. Because I remember I did put your email in. I blind carbon copied everyone so that, we didn't see each other's emails.
Probably because they were setting up my whole network, so I didn't check my emails for like a whole day.
Oh.
And I just set up my phone with the email and everything too. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, because I know I remember emailing, including you in the original email. That's why. But I think what I'm going to do is we're going to, I'm going to make sure that everyone has the that gets this because it's being recorded. So we're just going to make sure everyone gets this. And I think that I'm determined to continue this.
Let's do it.
Because that's why we're here. And
yeah, we need to rethink the way we advertise the class and how we're gonna get the students involved.
Yeah.
And especially like we can offer the human IT service, which I think is awesome because we have a live testimonial here online. So I mean that helps a lot.
The internet's fine. It's great.
Exactly. Yeah.
You do also, and you can still watch your YouTube videos, right? No problem, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you have to unmute yourself. But yeah, that's cool. Okay, 50 up, 50 down actually for free Wi-Fi is excellent.
That's not bad at all. It is good. Yeah, and you get a free Chromebook.
Like my normal I think is like 200 up, 50 down. So that's pretty standard. That's normal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And mine was downgraded.
Oh wow.
Yeah, roommates. But it's okay. I'm the only one in here right now, so I can hog all the bandwidth I want today. So it's okay. But yeah. Okay. So since we're all online right now, so what are some ways maybe we could figure out how to get more people to be here?
I don't know.
I mean, you have like probably the most awesome, online solo tutorial basically in the entire community college district right now. You probably got best one-on-one teaching ever right now. Just like
Chani should do like a little 1-minute video explaining the advantages of having human IT.
Yeah.
Kind of like sell the human IT connection to everyone and also invite them to come back to the class by using human IT.
Yeah. So actually, Chani, tell us about it. How did you find it first off? How did you find it?
It's the first time is I get from my kids' school.
Oh.
Yeah, it's my kids' school. They told me, okay, at your house, if you want connect the low-cost internet, you can go to this website and then you apply it online and then contact them by phone or something, and then they will text you back. They will reply you back something like that. And then I do that way. It's I go to the online. It's humanit.com or something. Yeah, they have the background like he showed you before earlier, the green stuff something. Human IT, and then they have the application like fill out a name, address, something like that, and then When we submit it, after like 1 or 2 days, have someone give us a call, and then let me choose the plan. It's not have only like the frontier. They have like three kind of internet, and then depend on which one we want to use it. We want to connect it, and then we pick one, and then we call them back and told them like, okay, I will choose this one, and then they will make appointment which day they can come and connect for us. Yeah.
Cool.
That's really simple. That's really simple. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And, you know, I think that I'll probably mention in the email going, hey, you know, we talked about everything from social media to technology that you can, cheap technology to cheap internet. And here, you know, this is the stuff. So but yeah, I'll make sure that everyone gets a PDF of the things we discussed today too. And then I'll put this on YouTube as a recap. I said, okay, for everyone who missed class, here's your YouTube, you know, to put it on, and then we'll talk about it, you know. But that's awesome. So yeah, you know what? I think what we'll do is we'll brainstorm better ways. I think we'll have to email the YMCA, say, hey, you know what? We still had a couple students still show up,
Yeah.
you know, and you know, I'm determined to finish this class. Oh, you sent me something? Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
The picture. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I think I am determined to finish this class. This is definitely something, especially for our beginning computer users. You know, there's a lot of information and a lot of opportunities to learn, especially because this is all we're going to be in front of for a while if we're not doing our normal, you know, chores or whatever. So, yeah. So how are you holding up aside from, you know, the remote work here at the college? Like, I mean, since you can't DJ or anything like that, how are you gonna?
Well, it is a good thing that you brought that, brother, because through the use of social media, now we're depending heavily, like solely on social media. I had 4 of my clubs were canceled because of the whole coronavirus thing. So what we're doing now is we're, you know, live streaming from home. We're live streaming everything from home, and we're doing the watch parties. Literally, we're doing watch parties on Instagram, on Facebook. Some of the biggest music festivals. I DJ nothing but electronic house music, electronic dance music. So
yeah, that's what I keep on the background to keep myself busy. So yes,
I'll send you my Mixcloud. But
okay.
I'll send you my tape. But so they went online. They actually did the whole lineup that was supposed to be at the Beyond Wonderland, one of the biggest raves.
Yeah.
It went online. So last night they had the party from like 6 o'clock all the way to like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was just a watch party, and I think that this whole social media, this whole isolation thing, this whole quarantine, and this whole crisis is gonna change the way we actually conduct business in the near future. Especially for even the movie theaters are now you pay them a fee and you can stream the releases online.
Yeah, they just did that with Onward. Disney just did that.
Exactly. So this is gonna change everything. So now I think that for us as DJs, doing watch parties is gonna be the next big thing for us. You know, it's like we're gonna see, you know, like set up a watch party. You want to join? You gotta pay like $1 to join or something. You know?
Yeah, one of my friends is a DJ too. I think he's gonna start doing the same thing if he hasn't done it already.
Yeah. So for us, you know, it's really it kind of hurts us because we're not out there with the crowd, and that's pretty much what we live for: being in front of the crowd, you know, pumping up the crowd, feeling the vibe and everything. But we have to adapt to it, and you know, if it means, you know, pushing more social media messages, pushing more videos on social media, it comes in handy because not only are we putting our names out there, but we're encouraging people to utilize the tools that are out there for everyone. Because once you learn how to stream a video from a DJ, you know, what can stop you from streaming a video from your family back in the Philippines or back in Mexico, back anywhere, you know? Mm-hmm. So it opens up. It's like opening a gateway to bigger, brighter, better things.
Yeah. So, you know, we can only hope that people will continue to use this like video conferencing and live watch parties and things like that. Exactly. You know, that we can still talk. I mean, obviously, it's not going to completely replace, you know, physical interaction, but at least we know that we're not alone. You know, and that's the big thing, is that we can still get around it. You know, I thought about all of the Italians that are in quarantine. I have relatives in Italy. They're fine, but they're under quarantine right now. And, but one of the things that people have been doing is, you know, because all of their, especially in like Venice and Verona and all the, and was it Florence, you know, where there's a lot of musicians and they all live in the apartments with the balconies. They're all playing music at the same time. I think there was one, they were like doing a rave party from all the balconies. They were all,
Yes.
they were just bumping, you know, just like, you know?
Yeah.
So
it is interesting. It's a challenge. And, you know, coming from the Hispanic community, I can tell you that a lot of Hispanics, the older generation of Hispanics that are still afraid to touch a computer.
yes.
They have a smartphone, and the only thing they know how to use is WhatsApp and Facebook. That's all they know how to use. And I think this is going to be a bigger challenge for them, but I'm pretty sure they will jump on the bandwagon of technology, and it will help them as well. So I think that now we have to figure out different ways, I guess, more entertaining ways to captivate the audience and you know, break that fear of technology and show them, hey, listen, if you know how to use WhatsApp, if you have a smartphone, these are all the other things you could do with it. You know? So,
yeah, and you know, that's why it would have been really great, I think, to have had more of my students, because they are older, you know, and not as exposed to the same apps that younger people are. And you know, if I mention WhatsApp, they'll know what it is. Especially international calling is so huge on WhatsApp. My relatives in the Philippines use WhatsApp. That's like their big thing. So I have an account, but I don't use it heavily. But they know they can get me, you know. But that's the thing too, is that there's still a little bit of a barrier, and it's like, how do you break the barrier? And
yeah, exactly, yeah.
all we can do is probably just send emails and right now, and just go from there, you know. And this definitely can spur another discussion. How do we get people more involved online so that you're not just bored at home?
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, there is that. So, you know, we'll figure it out. I think we're gonna be okay with that. That's me talking too much. I'm not. I'm not dying. I have water.
So for the next week, we have to join with the class with the same way.
Yeah, you know, and I'll put a link up. It should be the same because I'm using the one that's assigned to my. I have the code that you see on the top. The meeting ID is actually my employee code. So it's my room. It's my private room. So like anytime. And what I'm gonna do is offline. I might just keep the Zoom on because I have friends who have this ID. I might be doing. They call it Zoom happy hour. You know, everyone's just sitting and chatting because we're just like, we don't know what to do with ourselves. What are we doing? You know. So.
And my question is, I have another 2 classes. Example, I want to see my teacher with the Zoom also. So teacher have to send me the link, right?
Yeah, the teacher will send you the link. If you want to set up like an online invitation, I could send you one. Also, you know, you can also email first, and then you can arrange it. But once you get the link, it's because you already installed Zoom on your computer. It's just going to open the Zoom, and then you're good. So, yeah, that's why when I sent the email out, it had the link there. Then you just clicked it, and it started the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So with
so
different teacher, it's the same. So I have to click whatever teacher send me the link and click there and get in.
Yeah, because every room is different. Every room has a different code, you know, so that, you know, you end up in somebody else's room. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, teacher.
Yeah. No, I don't know. What do you think, Renee? I think we can probably just wrap this one up. An hour and a half of straight up talk.
It was pretty informative. And I mean, you know, I think both you and I learned a lot from Chanti regarding, you know, connection to the internet, you know, at a low cost. Yeah. Which will benefit. I mean, hundreds of students. You know, so yeah, it was a pretty good session.
I think so too. I think what I'm going to do is I will be mentioning this again. I will email the Y. I will email Miriam and Veronica and just tell them how this went, and that, you know, we actually did get participants, and then we were talking about these things, and then I will, if there's interest for another lecture, I will come up with something else, probably something in regards to, I don't know, maybe talking more about the low-cost internet, maybe talking more about you know, how internet can be used to help enhance things. Like one of my favorite things I've been doing right now is searching for Instapot recipes, you know, like Instant you know, it's
Yeah.
so I made Instant Pot corned beef and I shared the picture. It was really came out.
Is that the little brown like ceramic pot that goes in the microwave? Is that the one?
No. It's the one that
okay.
sits by itself. You plug it in and it's a pressure cooker.
Okay. Because I have the Insta, it's called the Instaware or something. It's like a little pot, it's like a little tiny pop.
Yeah.
It looks like the Moroccan tagine, I think, where they cook on the whole meals, but it's really small. So you could throw all sorts of meals in there and throw it in the microwave. 5 minutes, it's done.
Okay, yeah. It's not the one you throw in the microwave. But I will say though, is if you're making food like this, like you know.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
See, that's Instant Pot. You know,
nice.
that was the other day. So I had fun with that. That was you know, people are gonna be watching this. People are gonna be watching this and be like, why is there a picture of corned beef, potatoes, and carrots on the on the presentation? I said no.
Because it's about lunchtime right now.
Yeah, I know, it's like 10:37. I had my cereal, you know, I'm gonna eat a banana or something, but that's kind of where I am, you know. So, but yeah, that was just funny. I had to put that out there. But not Instant Pot. Maybe I'll come up with something. Maybe I'll do a fun activity, like, you know, let's see, what are some good things. The hard part too, and this is another challenge I'm seeing, is, you know, how we have not utilized, maybe I can utilize a poll. Maybe I can try utilizing a poll, or maybe the chat might be a little more challenging here.
Yeah.
But you can try, but the poll might do something. And then of course there's, you know, reactions to things.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess there's that. So I guess we'll figure it out. Closed captioning. Haven't tried that yet either. Okay. So I think we have a lot of good ideas. I think that I really, like I said, I'm determined to finish my course. They have taken like this virus junk has taken away every single class except this one. I'm not going to let this one go. So I'm determined.
Let's keep pushing.
We're gonna keep pushing. So I will email my findings if you'd like to email your findings too, you know, and then I will put this recording on YouTube and then share the YouTube recap. It'll just be the entire presentation. It's fine. And then yeah, I think we'll do that. So
all right.
With that being said, I think that you know, an hour and 40 minutes of class, I think that sounds pretty good, especially since we don't have our lab. Because our lab usually takes up about an hour of practice. So this is fine. You know, that would have been 2 hours and 50 minutes anyway. So not that I have to, you know, do the math on this. I'm just glad that I was able to hold class today. So, and Chani, thank you for staying for the whole class. I think she's like one of the only ones that has like perfect attendance in my class. So I was just like, yay!
Well, thank you for being here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you, teacher, too. Yeah, thank you.
Cool. So with that being said, I think I'll end this meeting. And then, like I said, I hope to see you all next week. I'm going to write the email now. And, you know, we're gonna continue, because I think I'll come up with some more fun things to teach. And
okay. Bye-bye. See you next week. Yeah.
Okay. So
right,
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.